Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another YouTube video. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today, we are going to be going over our recent sales. But before we do that, I want to let you guys know that I do live stream on YouTube, Twitch, pretty much every single day. I do apologize for the lack of videos. I know we haven't posted one in over a month, so I'm trying to go ahead and post more. But we do live stream pretty much every single day. I streamed earlier today, packing up the orders that we're going to go and talk about today. The live streams range from anywhere from 3 hours, sometimes shorter ones of only an hour, but I do try to stream every single day, either packing up orders, listing new items, or just looking for new inventory. Just as I was recording that intro, we actually did get one more sale here. I accepted an offer. I was asking $4.99. I accepted an offer for $3.50, which is about the lowest that I'm willing to go on this FTC. After shipping, I'm walking away with about $2 to $3, so this should still be good enough, but I do like to go ahead and try to stick to that $5 mark. But if you guys do remember, in the past packing up orders video, what we actually used was Excel, and this had worked totally fine for me in the past. It is just getting a little too chaotic, and my lack of Excel knowledge is really starting to show. So this is the spreadsheet, and we typically put the game name, we have the console, and then the condition. I just put whether it's loose, complete in box, brand new, the purchase date, the purchase price, and then this is all the columns we fill out after it's sold. So the date sold, the price sold, did we buy the shipping label on eBay? This is just a yes or no column. What platform did it sell on? I do sell items on Facebook as well as eBay, but then we also have what the buyer paid in shipping, what our total shipping cost was. The consumables are just like the envelopes or any bubble wrap or anything like that we ended up spending. And then we have the difference between what the buyer paid versus what we paid. And then our total profit is in this column here. And then we have nice column here, which basically just shows how long this sat in inventory. So while this was really good for the beginning, and it really helped me keep track of, how much I was spending, how much I was making on each item, it really started to get a little too chaotic. If we scroll all the way to the bottom here, I mean, I have almost 1,510 lines of just games. That is not including any of the movies, which we have a similar amount of actually. So we're just getting too many items here, and it's just getting a little too difficult to keep track of everything. So what I wanted to go ahead and switch to was a site called Flipwise. Now, basically what this does is syncs all of your eBay sales into one program here. So now this isn't doing anything like absolutely crazy or anything that you couldn't do in Excel. The nice thing about Flipwise is it automatically syncs the sales data from eBay. And now technically you can go ahead and do that in Excel. I just don't have the knowledge or know-how on how to do that. And it would take a lot of work to go ahead and get all of the graphs and all that stuff showing up properly. So this is a subscription-based program. So because I have over 2,000 listings, I think I'm at 2,100 right now. Anything between 2,000 and 5,000 active listings here, I pay $50 a month. So it is quite expensive, especially compared to a free program like Excel. So if you have the knowledge in Excel, I still think this is probably the better way to go ahead and do it. But I wanted to go ahead and show you guys around this program here, because I think going forward for these packing up orders videos, this is what we're going to be showing mainly, just so I don't have to go ahead and record the whole video while I'm packing up the orders like I typically do. I've already sent all the orders off to Canada Post. They have been shipped out, but we can click on our all sold tab here, and we can see all of the items that we have recently sold. So this top one, this is the one that we just got paid for. So we can go ahead and click on this one, and we can see all the information on it. Now, I haven't shipped it out, so we don't have a shipping cost filled in, which means the net return and ROI and stuff like that aren't going to be exactly accurate. So I got my little bucket of FDCs in here, and we can see the custom SKU number here. So FDC number 69. I'm going to flip through here. So here I have actually packaged up the order. I got it right here. I'm going to go and drop this off at the mailbox later today. But what I said earlier was eBay automatically syncs all the data. The issue is most of my orders within Canada, I actually use stamps. So obviously eBay doesn't know the shipping cost when I go ahead and throw a stamp on it. So if we go ahead and head over here, it says not shipped yet. If we go ahead and refresh, we see that here. I've made a little chart here. So USA, if we're selling between 1 and 3 of them, this is including the rigid envelope cost and the stamp cost. It is going to go ahead and take $2.46. So what I'll do is I'll come over here and I'll go ahead and punch in $2.46 as our shipping cost. Now we have an accurate net return, ROI, and net profit margin. So this is why I said I try to sell these for around $5, because we are still walking away with a net return of $1.66, which is pretty good. But I think I should have have maybe countered at $4 or something to try to go and make a little bit more. You're heavily reliant on volume when selling things like FTCs or postcards or, you know, cheap Pokemon cards, stuff like that. So I want to go and take you guys through all of the orders that we packed up that we received over the weekend, starting with the best one. So we had a loose copy of Mario Power Tennis for the Nintendo GameCube. This one was only listed for 16 days, which is absolutely amazing. Our purchase price was $3.52. Now, looking at this purchase price, it is a little bit harder to go ahead and calculate for each item. So this purchase price of $3.52 is just an average of what we paid. So this was the actual bundle that we bought everything from. And what I did is I took all of the items. I don't remember how many there were. Maybe there were 30. And I just divided that by the purchase price. So what I used to do in the past with Excel is I would go and take the most expensive game and I would just go and put the total cost for that game. So let's say for Manhunt 2, I would just go ahead and say I paid $186 for this. And then I would just put all the other ones at 0. Now, I don't think either system is a great way of doing it. This is just going to show that we made $15.60 on this game, which is, you know, 443% ROI. But if there's a cheaper game, you know, our margins may not be as great. But again, it doesn't really matter as long as you have the total cost in Flipwise. Looking at these individual ROI margins and stuff, it doesn't really matter too much. But one thing that I didn't track with my Excel sheet was all of the fees. What I did on Excel was I just went ahead and put the under the price sold. If we go back to games here, if we do price sold, this is just what eBay paid me out. So this $5.68, that is basically what eBay paid me out after all the shipping labels, after all the fees, all of that. Now, I would go ahead and say no here if I didn't buy the label on eBay. So then the total profit would know to go ahead and subtract this cost as well. So it was a really kind of messed up way to do things. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense. But here is nice because we can see the fixed final value fee. We have the final value fee. We have an international fee of 13 cents. This is our ad spend. So we spent $1.64 on ads. And then we also spent $7.19 on shipping, which doesn't really matter too much because if you see here, we accepted an offer for $25, but the buyer paid calculated shipping of $7.14. One thing that I really like about Flipwise as well is you can go and see all of the changes you've made. So these price changes are pretty much just sales or promotions that I run, but you can go and actually see when you relist an item. So if an item is, you know, 6 months old, what I'll typically do is go ahead and end that listing and relist it and change a couple things, either change the title or change the price or maybe update the photos. And it shows you all of that stuff here. But for our best sale of today with $15.60 net return, 443% ROI, I am not complaining. So next here, we have the movie Duel. So you guys may remember, I actually bought this from Restock. We bought a bundle of brand new sealed movies, and we still have quite a few of them. So you can see quantity purchased here was 8, quantity listed is 5, and we have sold 3 of them, and 2 of them have sold today, which is super exciting. So if we take a look here, so this was the one that sold today, October 27th, the buyer paid yesterday. So we had a net return of $6.02. It cost us $3.43 to ship. And then this one as well, I think I actually, yeah, so this guy paid asking price of $18.99. This one I accepted an offer of $17. So we had a net return of $3.08 on this one. But it is cool that you can go and scroll down and you can see which ones have sold. So this one was $4.28 back on October 10th. I like that there's just one tab for all of these quantities. It's not just like a bunch of these that I have to go and go back to all sold and see each one. All 8 of them are going to show up here and we can go and scroll and see how much we've made. So at the beginning, we actually made more because since then we have reduced our price quite a bit to try to get them moving. But I mean, a net return of $6.02 is not bad on this one at all. So the next one that we have sold is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And this was actually one that I reprinted the box art for. So this is a reprinted box art, plus it has a brand new PlayStation 3 case, but we are still waiting to hear back from the buyer. It's a little complicated, but the shipping method that they chose has no tracking, and I've actually experienced quite a few delays with this method. So I want to go and reach out to the buyer to make sure they know that there's no tracking and that they're okay with a little bit of delayed shipping time, because it actually shows their estimated delivery date as November 12th, which I am almost positive it will not arrive by then. So this one may be one that we have to go ahead and cancel the order. Another PlayStation 3 game here. We have Dante's Inferno Divine Edition. This one sold for $18.40. We had a net return of only $2.08. So it wasn't amazing. But I am happy to get rid of this one as it was listed for 7 months. So if we go and scroll down here, we can see all of our information there. But here you can actually see that we relisted this item. So it was listed, like I said, for over 7 months. So what I did is that I went ahead and relisted it. I also lowered the price. I was asking $14.99. I reduced it to $10.99, and the buyer paid $10.44. I think I accepted an offer, or sorry, there was a promotion. There was a sale going on. There was a sale going on over the weekend. So we took an offer, or sorry, we sold it for 5% less at $10.44. So the next one is an interesting one. So Driver 2, I have had this one for quite a while, but it was always scratched and broken. If you guys don't know, I recently picked up a JFJ Easy Pro. Long story short, I had one before, sold it thinking I was going to buy a more expensive one, didn't end up buying that one, so bought the JFJ again. Ended up fixing this disc. So this one has 2 discs. Both of them did not work, and I ended up fixing both of them with the JFJ. So that is absolutely amazing. It sold on eBay for $17.19. The buyer paid $7.70 in shipping, which is pretty much exactly what it cost us to ship. Our net return here was $4.11, giving us an ROI of 149%. So this did just get listed on eBay on the 23rd, so it really only took 5 days to sell. But we have had this for a lot longer. I just couldn't list it in a broken condition. This is another one where we actually reprinted the box art. So this is a reproduction box art on the back. I actually put a reproduction logo there. This is also a brand new case. It's a third-party case, but I throw these on. Basically, I have a bunch of loose games. This one was in really good condition, but where I took the disc, put it in a new case, reprinted the box art, and got it listed. The buyer's total came to $13.01, and it cost us $2.09 to ship, but they paid $3.99, so it actually worked out really, really well. $7.27 was our net return. We don't have an ROI because, like I said, the way that it worked in Excel with our purchase price, the way I divided it up, this one actually was free. So I put the cost on the other items. I didn't do that for many of them, but this one I did. So we still had a net return of $7.27, which is just absolutely phenomenal. Next up here is a movie. So we sold the 40th anniversary edition of Robin Hood. The buyer's total came to $12.99. We did accept an offer. I believe I was asking, if we look here, like $13.67, so we did come down a lot, but I have had this one for 4 months, so I thought, you know what, let's just get rid of it. The cost to ship was $2.09. They paid $3.99, so we profited a little bit on the shipping there, but we had a net return of $7.77, and when we only paid 65 cents for the movie, our ROI of almost 1,200% is phenomenal. Resistance 3 for the PlayStation 3 was one of the loose games that we had. I did throw this one in a PlayStation 3 case. The buyer reached out to me and we just talked for a little bit. So I thought, you know what, let's go and put it in a case for them. But we had this one listed for 7 months, which was just so long. The buyer paid asking price of $5.69, so wasn't a lot, but they did pay calculated shipping. So we had a net return of $3.06 on this one. You can see I did relist it on October 20th and it did sell here on the 26th. So selling in less than a week after relisting the item is phenomenal, and I definitely am going to be relisting a lot more of my items. Currently, what I'm doing is about 6 months I'm relisting, but I may even go down to 4 months because I've just had such good luck at selling these items that I have relisted. So we may try 4 months as well. We had 2 NASCAR games sell for the PlayStation 2. Both of them were bought so long ago. I actually used to take photos with the carpet in the background. I didn't have the nice white background like I do now, but this one was listed for 10 months. Our purchase price was $2. So I believe this was actually bought. Yeah, the purchase date was January 2nd. So this was the very first bundle that I ever bought, which is just awesome to go and see these getting moved. And again, we relisted this one on October 20th and it sold on the 25th. The buyer's total came to $10.98. So this guy actually bought both NASCAR games that I'm going to show you here, but it was just so much cheaper to go ahead and ship them individually opposed to combining them. It cost $3.43 to ship this one. The other one was only $2.09 to ship, but combining them would have been over $15. So definitely was not worth doing that, but we had a net return of $2.40 and an ROI of 120%. NASCAR 09 was the other game the buyer purchased. Order total came to $10.63, net return of $3.48 with an ROI of 174%. This was in the exact same bundle, the one that we got at the very beginning, so just feels amazing to move some of these items that we've had listed for 10 months. Here we actually have another movie. So this one was only listed for 3 months, which isn't too long, so I didn't actually have to go in and relist this one. The buyer's total came to $9.99. I believe I did accept an offer here. Maybe, oh yeah, it took 30 cents off. It was a bit of an odd offer. I do get these from time to time, but yeah, I was asking $6.30. The buyer sent me an offer for $6, so obviously I'm going to go ahead and take that. We had a net return of exactly $3 with an ROI of 857%. I mean, this wasn't even the cheapest movie that we've bought, but coming in at a purchase price of 35 cents, our return was not bad, $3 on a movie. Our only Xbox 360 game that we sold here was a Platinum Hits copy of Dead Space 2. So this one we had listed for 8 months. This one also got relisted on October 20th, and the buyer bought it on the 26th, so 6 days later. Total came to $9.68. We purchased this one for $1.85, so not too bad, giving us a net return of $2.70, which isn't great, but an ROI of 146%. Now, this one was absolutely amazing. You guys may remember the video that I posted recently on the channel. We actually bought a bunch of cards on Whatnot. If you guys don't know what Whatnot is, it's basically just a live auction. So these auctions are only 3 seconds long, and I bought some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some Pokemon cards. Long story short, we got absolutely screwed. We did not make very much money, and this was the most expensive card I have sold to date now, and I'm actually kind of surprised about it. This is amazing. We only had it listed for 11 days, which is really, really good. Even after the shipping costs, we had a net return of $4.44. This was another one where I didn't really know how to divide the price up. We bought a bunch of packs on Whatnot, so I was like, well, do I divide it up by the pack? Do I divide it up by the card? It just didn't really make sense, so I basically just put the cost on a couple of the cards and left our purchase price at 0. But $4.44 net return after all expenses is just phenomenal for a very cheap trading card like this. And then here we actually sent out an offer on this one. The sale was on $2.18. When I send out offers, I typically only do 5%. Sometimes I'll do a little bit more depending how badly I want to move it, but I sent out an offer for 5% here. The buyer accepted. Total came to $4.06. Again, another one where we don't have a cost because this was in the same Whatnot bundle. But if we take a look, oh no, this was actually a Facebook one. So this one we listed a long time ago. It looks like about 2 months ago. So I bought a bunch of Pokemon cards on Facebook. I bought about 1,500 of them for like $30. So it came out to less than 2 cents each. So again, I did the same thing. I sold one card, put the purchase price as $30. So the rest of these are all free. That just makes a little bit more sense to me than putting the purchase price at 2 cents for these. So we had a net return of $1.42, which is pretty average for these Pokemon cards. But now we can go ahead and take a look at our sales here. So this is the last 7 days. We can see our gross sales. We can see our net sales. The reason why I'm saying shipping cost is missing for some orders is just because of the Black Ops 2 that I have not shipped out yet. So we've been paid for it, but I haven't bought the shipping label yet. So the data is still accurate. Don't mind this little exclamation point there. But our gross sales was $472, and our net, so after all expenses, shipping, fees, everything, was $213. Our average gross per sale was $18.88. I think all time we are a little bit higher than that. I think we're just above $20. So sold a couple more cheaper items, that being the FDC and the couple Pokemon cards or trading cards. Our average net per sale, so average like take home, is $9.09, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. If we scroll down here, we can see our listing by source. We can see where we bought some of the stuff, where we sold it. Spent on new inventory. This isn't entirely accurate. I bought a bunch of postcards recently. I've been getting these listed. So we haven't spent this much this week on postcards. We spent more than this. I just don't have all of them listed yet. Cost of goods sold, same thing, doesn't really apply to us. Average time to list, this is going to be inaccurate as well, because when I transferred everything from Excel, if we take a look at the purchase date, this is all I have is the purchase date. I don't have the purchase date and then the date that I listed it. So this is a little inaccurate. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer, especially with these postcards. I mean, we bought over 550 of them. I'm not getting those listed in one day. We just listed number 72, so we have done quite a bit. 72 in about 3 days is not bad at all. If we take a look, so the average time to sell in the last 7 days was 4 months, and our ROI was 325%. Not too bad at all. You can also see here we had a ton of marketplace fees. We had $80.05 and $97.38 in shipping labels. Once we ship out the other package, it's actually going to be closer to about $110 in the last week that we've spent on shipping labels, which is quite a bit. And then if you guys want a more in-depth video with Flipwise and going into a lot of the numbers, this is here my year to date. We can go kind of more in depth with this and take a look at all the numbers. But yeah, gross sales have been 22,000, just about 23,000, and net was $8,210. One nice thing with Flipwise here is you have a ledger with all the expenses. So when I go ahead and buy, for example, I bought 4,000 sleeves for postcards. Well, I don't really know how to go and divide the cost up for each one and stuff like that. So basically what I do is I mark it as an expense. We paid $137.39. We bought it on eBay, and this was the description. So this comes out as supplies cost, and we have all of our costs here. So where I'm buying some of the inventory, well, not inventory, but like, for example, we bought shelves. So the shelves behind me can go in here as an expense. So it is nice. I did have something like this on Excel. It just was a little chaotic and didn't look nearly as nice as something like this. But this is the home page here. So we go ahead and for the last 24 hours, we have our gross sales, net sales. It shows your tasks. So active products, missing data. Basically, if we scroll through here, we can go ahead and input our costs. So these postcards I paid 30 cents for, and the purchase at, I'm putting Rose City Antiques, which is actually the buyer that I bought on eBay. So if we go to purchase locations, we can go ahead and find Rose City Antiques. We can click on here, and now we can see exactly how much we've spent, how long we've had them listed for, our ROI, you know, how much have we made back, all that stuff, which is going to be so nice when we go and do recap videos. One video that I want to go and film in the future is recapping all the stuff we bought from restock. So I don't believe everything is actually in here. I think we are missing a little bit, but we can go ahead and see our ROI, total payout, stuff like that for all of the stuff in this category or this purchase location. So I want to go and make sure that everything I bought from restock is in here before I go and do a recap video. But something like this is going to be interesting. The issue is all this stuff that I've bought in the past on Excel here, I just put as Facebook, right? So if I bought it, oh, actually I didn't even put a purchase location. So I don't really know. I'm kind of going and guessing. But what I did here is I just said Facebook. So Facebook is our biggest expense and where we've made most of our money from and stuff like that. It's not super accurate, but like I said, in the future, going forward, I want to go ahead and mark it by like eBay vendors I'm buying from, or, you know, a specific lot that I bought on Facebook. And I don't want to just go ahead and name it, you know, Poshmark, or go and name it Restock or Facebook, stuff like that. I want to go and know the exact bundle that I bought it from, so we can go ahead and see all of the interesting information, like the gross and all this stuff, time to sell or return, all of that. So we know if we should be going and buying from that vendor again, especially when we're talking about like things like postcards, because this guy has so much inventory that we could buy from, but we want to go and see, you know, on average, are we getting a lot of good postcards? Is he giving us a lot of filler, not really good ones? You know, how much have we spent on this guy? Should we try someone else? Just a bunch of other information. We can also see down here on the homepage our recently listed items, recently sold items, new listings, and sales. So I try to shoot for about 10 new listings a day. I will hit that today. We got a couple more postcards that I'm going to list, but sometimes I go way over that, but my minimum is about 10 a day I try to get. And it's pretty easy with postcards. When you're doing games and resurfacing discs, sometimes it can be pretty difficult to hit that 10 a goal. Obviously, you're going to go and adjust that to what you're listing, but for postcards, I mean, 10 a day is super easy to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this packing up orders. I know we didn't do much packing. We only did the one, but hopefully this, you know, whole breakdown was good. If you guys did enjoy it, go ahead and smash the like button, and let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this using Flipwise, or maybe something more specific like the restock video, anything like that. Let me know down below in the comments. I'll catch you guys in the next video.